that going. Hold on one second. I just have to click.
How many
Some of you
streams
have
are you
to
doing?
click. So I'm doing Facebook, Twitch. We're on Twitch. Yay. YouTube. Let's go, YouTube. Yay. And then, so those are the horizontals. And then vertically, we're going to go here. Let's see. Go live. Give me a second. It's going to take a second. Oh my God. I'm just going to keep it generic. Hi, everybody joining us. No one's ever joining us, so don't. They will on Instagram, but Instagram won't move over to the other platforms, and it pisses me off. And then we're probably going to fix our heads. So 3, 2, 1 on Instagram. And then when I'm going to add you now. It's OHA, right?
OHJ, yeah.
OHJ.
Okay.
There you are. Invite. Something should have popped up to say, like, Rachel wants you to join.
Yes, okay. Go live.
Just click OK. There you go. See? Oh, you're so good.
Yay.
And now just turn down the volume of the phone so there's no feedback.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Are we good?
Yes.
Hi, everybody joining us. Oh my God, I think we did a thing. Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
All right, I hear feedback, but you don't hear that feedback, right?
I heard it from somewhere.
Hold on, it might be from mine too. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's the phone. Like Instagram keeps trying to put the volume back up.
Like it won't go to 0.
And it won't go to 0. All right, well, let's hope it's not that horrifying. So everybody on Instagram, you know the drill by now. If you've been watching, you can go over to YouTube to see everything in a normal format. I'm also going to try to screen share at some point because we are going to talk about the Met Gala, but not in the same way everybody else has. You've already reviewed all the outfits and who's best and who's worst dressed. But I have Jamie Gasper on with me. And
hi.
Jamie is say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Jamie is a celebrity hair and makeup stylist who has also been behind the scenes of red carpet galas, right? With celebrities as well on production sets galore. I mean, you do everything from red carpet makeup to horror makeup.
Yes, all of it.
Right?
And
before
I also
you were
wardrobe.
Well, wardrobe we were just talking about. I'll get into that in a second. But before Jamie was into any of this, she was one of my interns in radio.
Yes, I was.
Which in my phone, a
long time there.
You did. In my phone, it says Jamie Gasper, winter 2011. Which, do you remember if you just started then?
Yes, January.
And I was pregnant, probably.
I think you had just gone on leave, and Randy had just taken over.
That makes sense. Oh my God, yeah. I was pregnant or gave birth to Sophia. Oh my God,
Nico.
Oh my God, Nico was, yes, 2010. Sorry. Oops, sorry, Sophia. I totally messed up your birth date. I hope you're not watching.
That's even wilder.
That is crazy.
There for 2 of your children.
Yeah, I know. He's 13 now. That's crazy and super weird. Oh my God. But you guys were
so... He looks so grown in his little pilot outfit.
I know. He's so cute. He's out tonight. I want to get a picture of him in his dress blues. Oh my God.
Aww.
He's so cute. I know. He hates it though. He's like, please stop. Stop looking at me. I'm like, great. I love you too so much. Oh my God.
Right.
But you guys were instrumental in all of that because I couldn't have taken maternity leave if I didn't have amazing people like you guys to just take over. And Jamie is the type of person who, if you give her a challenge, she will excel at it, right? And like, okay, here, I say jump, you guys say how high. And it was absolutely incredible. I had a really great team of, I call them all my babies. All my babies.
And
I mean, I've had hundreds of interns. Well, I'm a little crazy. I mean, people think Anna Wintour is hard. I think if you make it through a shift.
You give Anna vibes, especially if you were in the intern room during like a hot topic or like some high stress moments where Mojo really wanted calls. Watch out. Just answer that phone. Just be quiet and answer that phone.
Yeah, I think I give Anna Wintour a run for her money. But we're both very direct people. That's all that matters.
You get the job done.
Exactly. So then you moved on to what? Did you start hair and makeup immediately? Because I know you were dabbling in it already.
Yeah. I worked in promotions for 7 years after the internship. So I still
Hmm.
stayed at iHeart. And during that time I finished school and then I also went to makeup school. And just like a couple days ago, I celebrated my 10 years of
Holy
working in the film
cow.
industry, which is like what? But yeah, 10
That's so
years ago,
crazy.
I did my first film hair and makeup department head, which
Yeah.
is
So
kind of
Jamie's
wild.
bi-coastal. She lives in LA and then she comes to visit back in Detroit sometimes. So if you're lucky to catch her in Detroit, if you have an event or a wedding or a production, she's absolutely incredible. And
Thank
you
you.
know all facets of production too. So even if
I've been
it's
there.
right, if it's not just one thing, you can do 10 other things. I think that's the most important part about having you
Yes,
on a team because you're not a no person or you're not like it's not my job person. Um,
absolutely not.
right. Which
That's
I
kind of
think,
something that like I was known for on set was jumping in and doing, and it's a blessing and a curse because there are people who are like, "Who is this girl?" Like, go sit down, and then
go
there are
sit
people
down.
who are like, "Wow, thank you."
Well, I think that there's a lot of issues with critical thinking nowadays and people just not able to like use their brain and just
Yes.
like sometimes if help is needed, just step in and do the thing, right?
And that's, I
Like,
think, why you and I get along so well, and why I was able to learn from you as well as I did,
mhm,
because we have very much that, like, get to the point, let's get it done kind
yes,
of mentality. And
yes.
critical thinking is lacking in the world
I
right
know.
now. Yeah.
Not everybody has it, and that's okay. I do
Yes.
want to talk about the Met Gala because we teased it a little bit. And
Yes.
so what I wanted to talk about, because we've gone through all the outfits though, we can go through some of the outfits if you want to. I've got like screen share ready if you want to look at some
Yeah.
stuff. I
No, we
didn't
can.
put it in like a specific order. Do you want to just flip through it quickly?
Sure.
Let's try this. I haven't screen shared yet. If you guys want to see the screen share, oh my God, I'm so scared right now. Like what's gonna
First time for
pop up?
everything.
There's your Instagram. What am I gonna look up? Oh my God, I did want to look up that too. That's not it. Oh my God, look at all these tabs. I definitely have ADHD.
I mean, if you
All
could
my
see my screen right
ADHD
now.
tabs are up. It's like, oh my God, that's so funny. But then you're
Oh, yes.
gone
Okay.
completely. I don't like that you're gone. Oh no, wait. Okay,
I
we're
have
still
little,
there. Let me see. You're
yeah.
still there. Okay. I just have to go back and forth. All right. So Zendaya, which had two outfits because she was one of the hosts, right?
Yes. Stunning, perfect, amazing in every way.
Which
Which,
her outfit was all black, which was similar to Cardi B's in a way, but different. Does that make
yes.
sense? Like there's Cardi B's.
Which, like, okay. Okay.
Is that
But, like,
the garden at night? Like what? All
okay.
right.
I mean, she
And
had a lot of
then
people, but that's about it.
well, yeah, because they showed people like bringing the dress in a giant like bag,
Yes.
which I thought was so funny.
Which,
I was like,
that's
oh
a
my
fun
God.
fact for people that don't know.
Hmm.
At a lot of these award shows, especially the Met Gala, the handlers or the people that you see carrying the dresses, carrying the bags, escorting the celebrities, those are all hired models.
That's
And what's funny
crazy.
about it is like you're hiring these really beautiful people who are probably used to a certain amount of attention and a certain amount of like, look at me, it's my show. But when they're in this setting, they're the hired help. So they
Yes.
have to remember to step back. And like this year, there was a little bit of controversy because one of the guys that was helping Kylie Jenner last year got a little too happy in front of the camera and ended up getting the boot this year.
Oh my God.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing. If you don't impress that staff, you're out.
Oh, yeah.
And her whole staff basically during red carpet is in the basement of the Met in their gowns, but they're watching the arrivals, right? Because they have their own staff, they have their own crew, they have their own videographers and photographers. So they're sorting out who's best dressed and posting as they go. Like their whole team is literally in this hot basement in ball gowns, which is hilarious.
Yes.
What did you think about the Lizzo corset on the head?
I saw this on Twitter, so I can't take credit for it, but somebody said she looked like a piece of fried catfish, and I can't see anything else
Now
after
you
that.
can't unsee that. Well, thank you so much for that
Like
image.
she needs to be on a sandwich. She is catfish.
Well, and the other thing is, like, she had to walk up there, those steps, guys, like, it's a long staircase. It is a very long staircase. So, like, that in and of itself, I'd be like, oh my God, is there a back
Yeah,
door? I would never
right.
be able to handle that. Pam Anderson, I mean, I love the no makeup, but,
Yeah,
it's just a dress.
yeah.
It wasn't like, oh my God, amazing. Who did you want me to get to? No, it
I
wasn't Lana Del
mean,
Rey.
this is cool. Like it's very like cocoon, and
Right.
I liked it. Okay,
I thought it
so
was pretty,
Kim,
but like, okay, explain this to me because when I researched it, I really thought like maybe she had a dress fail. But people are like, no, Karl Lagerfeld had, wait, do I have a picture of, can you see this other? No, you can't see it yet.
to
Um,
me, the
Basically,
thing,
he had like a whole runway show and they were all wearing sweaters like that. So they're saying it went with the outfit.
oh, I can see that, and I see the like the juxtaposition of like classy and then casual, and like
Mhm.
obviously it achieved its goal. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's like, what happened there?
Right.
But I just saw like kind of right before we did this, a little like behind the scenes thing. Her shoes did not have any heels on them because it would have gotten stuck in the metal because her dress was all metal. So
Mhm.
she had like heelless shoes and she was on her tiptoes the entire
Oh
time.
my
That
God, I've gotta
coupled with
look. I
how
gotta
tight
find
that
that.
corset is,
Yeah,
like
there's
people
no
say
way.
she's not talented. I don't know. That takes
Okay.
talent.
Doja Cat, that's who we wanted to talk about.
I just
You go as far as you wanna go. You decide what you wanna
She
say.
is by far the worst person I have ever worked with.
Do you wanna say the context in which you worked with her?
I assisted with her wardrobe for a music video, and it was day one, an 18-hour day. She has very strict rules on set that are just kind of like, huh? And I don't know how much I can say. I always joke like I'm gonna write a book one day when like all the NDAs run out. But she is just by far the worst I have ever worked with.
Maybe she was just hangry. I think people don't understand an 18-hour
No,
day,
because
you
she sent a
guys.
PA to like 30 minutes away for lemonade. I'm
Was
not
it fresh squeezed
joking.
lemon?
I don't even know what it was. I don't remember where it was. I just remember like literally she made it a thing to send this PA 30 minutes away for
Oh my
lemonade.
God. I want people to understand though, also, I'm just gonna like go through these as I talk. An 18-hour day means crew is there hours before talent is there. So, and you have the space for a certain period of time. So, like, you have to get it done. Like, you're not gonna rent it for a whole other day. You're not gonna have everybody come back another day. So,
Well, we did
talents,
have 2 days for
oh
that
my,
shoot.
okay, you
So we were
did
18 hours and then like a couple hour break. We didn't have even a full 10 to 12-hour turnaround, which is customary in most sets.
sometimes,
Um,
depending on
yeah,
if you need
yeah,
twilight, sunrise, sunset. What are we going for?
yeah, right. There's a lot of factors there, but um, it was an 18-hour day that led into a second day, which I think ended up being like 14 or 16 or something ridiculous like that, and
It's
it was really
long. It's so
intense.
tiring. Your body kills you. It's
Yes,
like,
and
oh my
especially like
God.
part of like one of the costumes that we did for her dancers, it kept coming unsewn because it was all hand sewn. So we're like laying on the floor, like trying to sew around their ankles in between takes and stuff, and just doing these very physically challenging things. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's
she was
crazy.
not nice to work
Did they
with.
have good here's your favorite, Demi
Who's
Moore,
my
right?
favorite?
Demi Moore?
No, Demi
I thought you said,
Lovato.
oh, Lovato. You said
I said
Demi.
Demi wins. Demi
I thought it was
Lovato.
Demi Moore. Well, do I have, oh my God. Did
Oh
she
my
pop
god,
up yet? No,
Demi.
I don't think she popped up.
This was such an epic Met for her too because it was her first one back since 2016
I
when
hope
she
she's
had
here. No, she's
a
not
not
in
great
here.
time.
I'll have to see. Um, Ariana Grande, you guys, go to her TikTok. She shows the inside of the Met Gala. I don't think a lot of people have ever seen the inside. So a couple things to know, like once they get up the stairs, they go through the art gallery. So they go through the exhibit and then they go to the dinner. Well, the biggest thing at dinner is running to the bathroom and taking selfies in the bathroom because they have a no phone policy. But when you're in the bathroom, everyone takes out their phones and takes selfies in the bathroom, which is hilarious. And then Ariana Grande, who performed, has video on her TikTok of inside the gala of her performance. I don't know. Is she in here? That would be horrifying if they left Demi out. Oh, let me see
Okay,
Sarah
can
Jessica
we?
Parker because everybody loves her so much.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah wasn't there. This is Carrie.
Exactly.
Like Carrie
100%.
Bradshaw came.
Oh my God. I love Dan Levy.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
always looks
God. There's so
amazing.
many people. This is Zendaya's second outfit. I like Mindy Kaling's outfit.
Yeah, the back of it was really cool.
Is
We
what's the people? What is the big rumor that Mindy Kaling lost weight because of Ozempic? Is that do we know if that's true or not?
I haven't heard that one. I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter. No.
I mean, everybody's on it now. Everybody. Everyone that can afford it, at least.
Everyone, right? Exactly. Some people just didn't bother. Like,
That's literally from Party City. And that was
wait, what
stamp.
is that? Is she a magician? It looks like she's. I don't
She's
get
late for her
it.
show at the Magic Castle.
And I'm not like, listen, if you can design something, you're amazing because I can't. My brain can't even wrap my head around half of this stuff and how amazing it is.
But some of it, why?
Well, and Anna's very specific about theme and being
Right.
on theme, even though like here's her outfit, which is like, okay,
It's
pretty
simple.
flowers. She's generally not all out anyway. She's got to
That
be
just looks like cotton
talking to
candy.
people. It did. I'm trying to find your girl. Oh my God, did they throw her in the end of this?
My goodness.
Come on, Variety. Let's see
All
if
of
she's here. Or
Hollywood
maybe
does
I
Demi
flipped.
dirty.
They do. That's actually not a
They
lie.
do not give her the credit she deserves. She is a queen.
You guys, oh my God. She's not in it unless I flipped through it earlier. So,
Oh my
oopsie.
goodness.
Well, she's
Well,
not
she was
there.
flawless, stunning, and perfect. Her makeup was on point. It was great.
I'll find
And
another
it was her
picture
first
later to
one
send you.
back
So,
in, what, 8 years or something like that? Because I think 2016? No, 6 years? Because I think 2016 was the last one she went to. And she left it because it made her want to drink because she said that it was very clicky. And then she posted a picture of her and Nicki Minaj where Nicki is just stone faced and Demi smiling. And the caption was, "This is pretty much how my Met experience went. I don't think I'll be going back," or something along those
oh
lines.
my God.
And
Oh
yeah,
my
so it was
God.
exciting that she went back.
Well, they get invited, right? And then I think it's like
Yes.
$75,000 a ticket. I don't think people understand. It's to raise
Yes.
money. Because it's literally to keep these costumes in the museum and in pristine condition, essentially.
Right.
So it is a fundraising event. It's been going on for years and years and years, but now it's like the event, like the fashion event of the year. So people love to see it, but I think that they have to understand how much work goes into this stuff. I mean, the
It's
limo line's
insane.
insane, right? And then you got, I don't know, I can't remember if they have signs to say who they have so that the first person on headset, right, knows, okay, Kim Kardashian's coming. Kim Kardashian's like 5 feet away. And then the sheer volume of paparazzi is
Yes.
insane. It's so loud. People are screaming at you the whole time. So, like, you see these beautiful pictures, but it's a shit
No,
show.
there's hundreds of people crammed on this carpet. I've never
Well,
been to the Met, but I've been to obviously other award shows
yeah,
in LA, and
same.
it's chaotic.
Well, you have to get your
Chaotic.
spot too. And especially if like I would just go as a radio reporter. And so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not E! News, so like I'm gonna get the crappiest spot. So it's me and 10 other radio reporters literally climbing on top of each other, trying to get the same shot and the same audio. It's insane. And you stand there for
Yep.
hours. Hours because you got to get there early, you got to get set up, you got to go through screening. It's nuts. So I don't
That's, I
think
think,
people
probably,
understand.
yeah, I was gonna say that's what I think the like biggest thing that people don't understand is just like how early you have to be there, how much pre stuff goes into it. Like
Well,
they
yeah, I
set
mean,
up for
how
these
long does
things
hair and makeup start
months in
even?
advance,
Talk
crazy
about
early.
that.
So the most recent award show I did was somebody was going to the Grammys, and I had no idea. Like I thought getting there at I think I got there at 10:30 or 10 a.m. or something like that. I thought getting there at that time for an award show that she had to be there at like 3:30 was adequate.
Mhm.
But I'm walking in while makeup and hair are walking out for people like fully done head to toe at 10:30 in the morning. And I'm
Mhm.
like, what the heck? Like, there's no way they're going to the same thing. There's a whole separate show for the Grammys
Yep.
in the morning for everyone else. Like, you're not, radio hit people,
Mhm.
but like your jazz and your symphony and
Mhm.
all of them, they have a whole separate shebang in the morning. And it's like, how?
Yes. And
It's
then you have to last.
insane.
Usually they'll do a screening and then there's after parties too. So it's just like it is a
Yes.
whole day. And
And
usually if
some
you're
of
on call, you get the break while the award show's going on. But then it's like, hey, Jamie, like come to the hotel room. We're changing now for the after party.
right.
And you're like, let's
Because,
do it all over again.
yep, you're on standby. You're maybe getting a little bit of time to eat, go to the bathroom, do whatever. But then the second that they're needed again, you need to be ready to do a lip touch up or this or that. Because even if they look perfect, if you're not there to give them that reassurance, then
It's insane. And a lot of times they just rent a second hotel room just for hair,
yeah.
makeup, and their wardrobe because that's how
Yep.
much stuff. Because they do bring backup stuff, right? A lot of the times, even though they've
There's
done
always
like,
there's always last minute wardrobe changes, last minute like let's throw hair up, let's do this, let's do that. And I think a lot of the best stuff happens in like the last minute chaos of it all. So like
mhm.
I'm here for it, but
Well,
it can get very hectic.
if if the team works well together, because I remember
Yes.
with Barbara Walters, she had a hair and makeup artist that were with her for years. So they understood, they had a rapport, there was a certain energy amongst them. They weren't fighting for attention, right? One was not more important than the other.
Right.
Makeup has to work around hair sometimes, hair has to work around makeup, right? Because if you're blow drying while you're putting eyeliner on, that doesn't work. So we have to communicate.
Right.
Have you ever had a situation where you were not on that same page with if you were doing makeup and they
Um
were doing hair or vice versa? Or in the industry,
not
or do you guys kind of look out for each other?
I would say it's pretty good that we look out for each other. Unfortunately, a lot in like your indie world that I kind of stay in, you're pigeonholed into doing both. So you have to do
Okay.
hair and makeup. So because you like do both, you have I feel like more respect for everyone else. So when you're
Mhm.
in a luxurious situation where you're only doing one or the other, you
Right.
have respect for the others.
Which do you like doing better? Like glam makeup or horror makeup? Because your horror stuff is
Mm,
so fucking good. You are
thank
so
you.
good.
Excuse
It's
me. Thank
so
you.
good. Which
Thank
that's
you. Thank
not
you. Thank you.
easy to do. It takes time and like in-person horror is completely different than film horror, right? It has to
Yes.
photograph well, it has to look good with lighting. You have to understand the situation that you're going to be in.
I
Which do
would
you like better?
say I like all of it. But I would say the reason I like doing film is because you get to do a little bit of each. Because my favorite thing ultimately is your realism. Like you're creating realistic wounds, you're creating realistic bullet wounds and things like that. Or recreating like I worked on a show where I had to literally show someone like going through stages of cancer. So like figuring out how to like make her hair look less and less and like mimicking real life scenarios. That's my favorite type of makeup, which includes a lot of like the bloody gory stuff. But
And I don't think people understand that you're also a lot of times involved in the planning of that because it's not just like, hey,
yeah,
we're shooting today, just show up and we'll figure it out.
right.
It takes time to figure that out, to plot that out, to time
There's
that out.
yes,
You also need to know call time, right? If our makeup's going to take 10 hours and we're shooting at like 3 p.m., well, then guess what your call time is?
yep.
3 a.m.
There's
It's horrifying.
and a lot of people on set take hair and makeup for granted in that sense because they don't realize, oh, your call time's 8 a.m. to start setting up camera and lighting, but we've been in this back room here that nobody ever walks by since the crack of dawn.
Hmm.
Thanks for asking if we wanted breakfast. Like,
Well, yeah, and you don't always get a trailer. You're lucky if you
No.
have electricity sometimes. Like, you have to do with what you've got. And,
Yes. And even on like some of the award shows and these things are supposed to be very prestigious, you're tucked in like the banquet hall next like of a hotel. You're stuck in the
mhm,
banquet hall room next to like the catering, and it's like
mhm,
the celebrities are coming back there for touch-ups depending on what the award show is, but you're still in like the back
mhm.
corner, you know?
I'm gonna go
And it's
hide
like,
over here behind the curtain for a minute.
yeah, and it's supposed to be so prestigious and luxurious, and you're like, oh, I'm just in a
Mhm.
corner.
Yeah, for the celebrities, it's prestigious and luxurious. For everybody else, it's like,
Yeah,
"All right, can I get a granola bar, please? Craft
right,
services, can I get a water?" It's
right.
insane. So, when you started to do this, what was the first film you got a credit in? Because I remember when I got my credit finally in The View, it was like, I mean, it was amazing. I don't know, it was the best feeling, and I feel like
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing, but it's like it's part of what kinda keeps you going in a way because 'cause you're like, "Look, I did that," and, like, "Here's proof I did that."
yes.
Do you remember what your
Um,
first one was?
I started by like being an extra and stuff like that. So my first credit was technically for being an extra in the movie LOL with Miley Cyrus and Demi Moore. And
Oh.
it like from being in that film like as an extra, I think it was considered a featured extra. I got to actually go through hair and makeup, and it was on that set that I learned like, whoa, this is like a thing. And I think
Mhm.
they let me like, they let me like powder people and like do little stuff like that. So I technically got my first credit on that, but I don't necessarily like count that because I didn't even realize what I was doing at the time. But like chronologically, that's what it
Yes.
says. My first like real credit where I was the hair and makeup department head, like did everything, was for a film that we filmed in Gladwin, Michigan called Urban Myths, and that was like a whole fluke scenario because they had everything ready to go, the whole crew, the cast, everybody. There was a lot of them from LA that flew in, and last minute something happened with their original makeup artist, and they called the makeup school that I was working at. It's the same school that I went to, but I was working
Mhm.
there at the time. And they were like, "You're the only one that we have really to send, so want to go?" And I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
And here
Oh
we
my gosh.
are.
That's amazing. What a crazy,
Yeah,
like, beginning to your career in doing this.
yeah. And like, I
Oh
had
my
no
gosh.
idea what I was doing. I mean, I knew, how to do makeup and stuff, but I didn't know proper set etiquette and like where to be when. I just kind of like learned as I went, and I couldn't have had a better like cast and crew to learn that with. And I'm so thankful to this day for that. And even like the director, what, 9 years later, I did her hair and makeup for the Golden Globes last year. And one of the camera guys on there, I work with his production company doing commercials here in Michigan sometimes. So
That's
it's really
amazing.
cool to like see. And it's crazy. It just makes me feel so old that it's 10 years already.
Well, I think that a lot of Hollywood, which congratulations, a lot of
Thank
Hollywood
you.
is trial by fire, right? Because it's just like not every set's the same. So you can plan
No.
for everything, right? Like your director, everybody on crew can plan for all the things. Sure as shit, when it's when it's time to shoot, all chaos could break loose, right? Like
Yep.
so, it really is
I've
just
even
trial by fire.
I've been on a commercial shoot where literally a criminal ran through the set and the police come running through, but we were doing a military themed commercial, so everyone's in like Mortal Kombat gear, or not Mortal Kombat gear, but like
But
combat
like
gear.
the black,
And yeah, and the police run in and they're like, what's going on here? And like more concerned about what's going on set than the fact that the guy ran out the
right,
back door and up the hill.
right. That
And
is
we're
so
just like, did
funny,
this really just happen? Like, that's something that happens like on TV, and it
right?
genuinely happened on a commercial set. Like,
Right.
what?
Like nobody in combat gear thought to chase the criminal though. Everybody's like, not
No.
it.
Well, we didn't even know. We're like, who is this guy running through? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh my
It
god.
was literally insane, and I think it was for a computer desk. That was the craziest thing. Is that's what the
Oh my god.
commercial was for a computer desk,
Oh
and it
my
was so
god.
chaotic.
That's insane. And that's the thing that you have to be ready for anything. Be
Yes.
ready for anything. Your bag has to have not just hair and makeup supplies, but tape and pins and whatever else. Like, what else are you like, oh my God, I have to make sure I have this? And you learn by not having
Straws.
it, right? That one day when you're like,
Yep.
I don't have it. And now
Yep, or
forever I will have
watching,
it.
everyone else on set not have stuff too. I always end up just having everything. I have everything. If you
But
need
that's the
something on
best
set, I will have
because then you're that person. And you also
Yeah,
know this when teams get to know you and directors get to know you, right? They tend to call you again because they know, oh, Jamie can do this. She'll be there for us. And we know that
right,
she's reliable. It's one person I don't have to think about. It's really
right.
hard managing multiple teams. And I don't think
Yes.
people understand that.
And I'm
Um,
very fortunate. I have a couple of different teams that I do work with, consistently, and that's my favorite. Because being hair and makeup, you are so interchangeable. You're on hundreds of sets all the time with all kinds of different people all over the spectrum. And that's cool and that's fun, but I definitely love when I get to work with the same people over and over again, and you know how each other is, you know what to expect, and you get the job done.
So, what advice do you have for people that want to get into like Hollywood celebrity hair and makeup? How do they even break into that?
It's such a different world nowadays from when like I started. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what the best advice is for somebody completely starting out the gate. Because it would be a completely different path from what I took. And I think we're at a point right now in Hollywood where things are changing.
Mhm.
So definitely there's the focus on TikTok. That's your biggest thing. And that's where I'm a downfall as an artist because I'm not
Mhm.
on there like I should be.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
you
like
create great stuff. Like you have so much content, but I get it. Like who has the time to post stuff? I'm going through that right now.
yeah, I don't know. I'm also getting old. So that's why I'm like, you youngins go for it.
I said that to
Um,
somebody today. I was like, "Listen, I'm 48. If I was younger, I'd be like balls to the walls, build a media empire." But right now I'm just
right.
like,
I'm
"Can I just be
tired.
a housewife? I'm tired. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
have to do any of this like entrepreneur stuff. I would rather just take care of the house, my husband and my kids and be happy."
Yes.
But
I'm tired.
why do I have to be a boss bitch? I don't know.
Right? And then you have that minute to breathe and you're like, why am I just sitting here? I need to do something. What can I
Mhm.
do?
Mhm.
And yeah. But as
Mhm.
far as like really like a solid way to get your foot in the door, is finding artists that are doing what you want to do because in makeup now it's so much bigger than when I started because it was kind of just like a couple people that were known. Now there's so many people that are known for their different niches. And if
Mhm.
you find the person that you resonate with most, maybe it's editorial, maybe it's film, maybe it's red carpet, follow them and see if there's ways you can assist them, see if there's ways that you can work with somebody that they recommend or, really try to hone in on finding a mentor and somebody that can take you under their wing because this industry is so much more about who you know than what you know because you can always learn on the go.
It is 100% who you know. There'll always be somebody to like tag you're in. And then I
Yep.
also think, even though this wasn't the conscious trajectory you took, don't be scared to join casting agencies that cast
Yes.
for extras. It gets you on set. It gets you on
Yes.
set. How else can you get to know people and watch the
That happened
process?
with the Kelly Clarkson show because when I first moved to LA, I was told about this website where you could just go and get to be on different shows every day and they would pay you like in cash minimum wage. And I was like, that sounds cool. Let me go sit in on some shows. And sure enough, on Kelly Clarkson, it was one of the days we were like kind of walking backstage. I was talking to one of the producers and I said that I did hair and makeup. And then they were like, oh, you should talk to this girl over here. And so I talked to them and they were like, yeah, we need day players. And so she asked me to come day play. And then I got to powder Steve Carell for the opening of
Oh my
Kelly
god, that's
Clarkson. And it's like, oh my
amazing.
goodness, what?
Well, that's
And
the
it was
other
all like
thing.
from being an extra on their show and just talking to the right people.
Well, and you're very good at not losing your shit. That
Yes.
is, you cannot fangirl. You cannot say, "Can we have a picture?" You cannot ask for an autograph. You can barely look at them. You do your job and you
Yeah.
walk away. You don't make them feel special. You don't make them feel like you're fangirling. I'm
Right.
here to do a job. You're here to do a job. And you know that the more you're in the industry, they're just
Yeah.
people. They're just people that
Right.
have, really
I,
fun jobs that get paid a lot of money to do it,
yes.
right? It's
I
not
did
they're no
have
different than us.
I did have a hard fangirl moment where like I was fangirling before it happened, internally during it, and then like
Yes.
crazy after.
Yes.
But yeah,
Well, that's what
the
when
day
I
I did
was
Lisa.
when I wait, when the day you did what?
Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh my god, do
That
you
was
love
my
her?
like start. Oh my god, I am a reality TV junkie. Housewives, Vanderpump Rules all day, every day, even Vanderpumpzilla, even though it's not that good. I'm here for it all.
Oh my God.
And Ken came to set with her, and she brought her dog, and it was the whole everything. It was the moment. It was the greatest.
Did you say anything to her, or did you keep it inside?
I mean, she like knew I was a fan of the
Right.
show
Okay.
enough because I was just like I don't know. There were a couple of things that were said, and I mentioned like her dog's name and whatever.
Okay.
But I wasn't like fangirling or anything like that, and I didn't ask for a picture or anything,
Good
which is
girl. That's
sad.
the hardest part. There were
Yeah,
a few times where at The View, if you found your moment, you could do it. But
right.
even back then, like selfies weren't a thing. Like back when I mean, it was 20 plus years ago. So I think we had Blackberries, right? You had to actually have a camera
Yeah,
to take a picture. And so I get like how easy selfies are now, but when they're on set to work, it's completely different than when they're on a talk show or doing something like outside of that space. Does that make
yeah,
sense? When they're on set, it's
absolutely.
like you can't break that barrier in a way, right? We're all here
Right.
to work equally. And I think that's so hard for people to understand because they're like, oh my God, who did you meet? And like, oh my God, how amazing was it? And it's like, dude, they're just people
Yeah.
and we did a job. Like,
Yep.
sorry to ruin the fantasy, but they showed up for work and so did I. And that's
And then
it.
there's some like there are some that are really cool and like kind of the younger generation where they're like, yeah, let's do this, let's pull up this, let's do that.
Mhm.
And I mean that's always fun, but it's definitely not like that across the
Mm-mm.
board, and you can't get used to that.
No, I know that there was, I think when Steve Martin came by, that shocked me because he's like, comedians aren't funny. I don't know if people know this. Comedians are not funny outside of being on stage.
Right.
They are probably the like hardest human beings to talk to. Um, and then I also don't think he did autographs. I think he gives out business cards like with his name on it or something, which was yeah. But again, like don't you do you. I totally get it. Like
Okay.
you whatever you need to do to protect your space, you do it. And then I remember Tom Cruise was nice as heck, like super nice. And like when Tom Cruise looks you in the eyes, it's like, yes, sir. Like you're just
Yeah.
like whatever. And that smile, like, holy shit, this is happening. And then I remember Mark Anthony, like how random. Mark Anthony walking through the hallway, going down to set, would say hi to everyone. Hi, I'm Mark. How are you? What's your name? Like literally saying hi to everybody, shaking everybody's hand. And I was like, who does that? I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, that was so nice because it just made everybody feel seen. I mean, we were all just like, and you
Right.
know this when like talent's on set, everybody just, if they're going to walk by you, you just stop what you're doing and you just let talent go by. And that's kind of how it was. But he was saying hi to everybody. And I was like, how nice is that to just acknowledge that everybody
Yeah.
exists in this space?
Absolutely.
I thought that was amazing. And not everybody
That's
does that, which is sad.
no.
But
There are sets that I've been on. Maybe I've mentioned them already. That the rules are you can't be in their eye line,
mm-hmm,
you cannot talk to them,
mm-hmm,
you cannot look at them. Excuse me, what? I
mm-hmm,
have to make sure that your clothes are on you correctly, but I can't look at you or talk to you or be in your eye
mm-hmm,
line. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Like what?
It's, yeah,
So yeah, for an artist or anyone to acknowledge everyone on set is huge because there
it's a
are some
huge
people
deal.
who have the opposite end of the ego spectrum.
Well, I'll remember that forever. Who couldn't we look at? I know I produced Beyonce, which was weird because she was getting hair and makeup done. She was late. So for a talk show that is live, this was the recorded show after the show. So sometimes, especially in the summer, the View would do a live show and then record a show after. So she was in the recorded show after. But you're holding a second audience, right? And you know this. They're tired, they're hungry, and they have to pee.
Yep.
So she was, I think, an hour and a half late, which means we held the crew. So you have to pay the crew overtime and you held the audience. And so she was my my guest to produce. And when she got there, we got her in her dressing room to get ready, but I couldn't talk to her. I could only talk through the mirror to her publicist. So I would ask her a question because I was being a dick. I'm going to ask you the question to you. That's on you if you don't want to look at me to answer. But I would say, hey, we're going to go, this. Here's the rundown. Here are the questions. And then the publicist would answer me, which was so funny. I was just like, she can't
Wow.
talk to me. Okay, fabulous. And this was also during the time where she was dating Jay-Z, but not talking about it, but everybody knew about it.
Wow.
So it was like, "Hey, like, we might ask," and then they were like, "No, you're not gonna ask that," and I was like, "Great.
I
You're
remember a
I'm not gonna tell
couple.
Barbara Walters she's not asking that question."
Right,
I was like,
right.
"So, okay, yeah, no, they won't ask."
I remember a couple people that came in even to the morning show for interviews that were like, okay, like I think Selena Gomez was one of them that was like,
Mhm. Did she come with her
not.
mom? Did you remember if she
I
came with her
think
mom? I think she was
so.
traveling with her mom too.
Yeah, and she was just like, everyone was not happy about the interview, and
I
she was
think
just not cool to anyone.
morning radio is tough because of how early those shifts are, because generally when you're doing morning radio, you'll hit early as possible so that you can then do morning TV, right? So it's like nobody wants to get up at 5 AM to go do radio. And then,
Fair,
like,
fair.
right? So it's just I think sometimes it's super tough to get just people if they're gonna be in studio, it's like, "Oh my god, this is really happening." And
Yeah,
then I don't think and like, very rarely is anybody happy to be up at 5 AM to be on radio between 6 and 7 so that they can get to the 7:30 hit, right, at the news station down the street. So, I think that was tough for a lot of people. We
yeah.
also tried to record what we could. I remember, oh my god, who was it? Lady Gaga.
Oh
Before she
yes.
was, like, huge, huge, she came on the tour bus. We were taping her after the show, and we had to wait for her to eat her McDonald's on the tour bus, and then she came in to record
I
with us, which
remember
was
hers was like
amazing.
it was like such a big thing that was a story that kind of like carried on generations.
Yes. It carried on for generations. I love that. Oh my god.
There
Are there
were
s
there were a few of those like urban legends that carried on through the station for
yeah,
a
I
few
mean, she was
generations.
amazing, but she was super cool, she was so nice, she was very down to earth, like, very cool, but it was hilarious that we're like, "What are we waiting for?" "Oh, she stopped at McDonald's, she's eating it in the tour bus, so we have to wait." Like, "Okay, no problem." Are there any other people I mean, I know it's so hard because you don't wanna talk shit about anybody, but who was the most difficult person? And was there ever a time you were like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, this has to be the last time I'm doing this. Like, I need to find another job." Did anything
I've
ever get that
never
bad?
I've never had like one person like push me and make, anything like that bad for me personally. But I've definitely been on some nightmare productions. Um, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong on the indie side of things because it's not as regulated. The rules are not there.
Well, there's not as
Even
much
on
money either.
right.
You gotta make
And
a dollar
so
stretch on an indie film.
which they did, but not in the right ways. There was an indie TV show, well, indie, but like come to find out the parent companies had money and it was the whole thing. But this indie TV show that I was department heading, they didn't think that it was necessary to use a prop baseball bat. It was just a
Oh,
plain wooden baseball bat. And in between takes, I had to give the actor his ski mask. So I walk up to give him his ski mask. He's messing around on set, swinging the bat. I get cracked in the face.
oh my god.
Yeah, it was a great time. And
Super
there was just a bunch of
fun.
other stuff that happened like on that same set that was incredibly unsafe and just
Mhm.
not not good. And that was definitely one where I was like, wow, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
How do you
And
feel
yeah,
about this film community and then the future of AI? Because I understand that I mean, the strikes were horrific and it changed a lot of things, but I also know from actor friends, it's like if you wanna work, you're gonna sign the contract, and if the contract states we could use your likeness however we want to, and if you don't sign it, there's a line down the street of people who will. So, like, how do you feel us balancing this world of live actors, versus, like, AI, which is just easier and cheaper to do?
I honestly have no idea, which is why it's so crazy right now to try to break into this industry and even to figure out where to go in it because we all love Instagram filters. We all love like the pretty stuff.
Oh, I love it.
That
Oh,
right
I love a
there,
filter. Give me a filter all day long.
me too. But like that right there was the first thing that was coming for my job. Because now if you don't want to put on hair, like you know what I mean? Like there used to be people that would put on hair and makeup or have someone come do their hair and makeup for
Mhm.
self tapes if it was important enough. if there
And
were
for people,
auditions.
yeah, self-tapes or auditions where you tape
And
yourself for an audition.
now your camera, you can do different filters on your camera alone.
Oh, I didn't
So
even
it's
think
like,
about that. I'm so sorry. Well, I love a
yeah, so
filter
it's
for me, but I don't love a filter for your job. That's horrible.
but
I
it's
didn't
like
even think about that.
that was the first instance of our job starting to kind of go away. So it's like it's been around for a long time and it's coming quick and it'll be interesting to see how things change.
Mhm.
Um I think right now we're fortunate that like it still makes enough mistakes that we have a little bit of
Yeah,
time
it's not
left.
perfect. I
But
don't think it's perfect, but
and
I
so
I'm
this
I'm worried about it because I truly feel like I want people who have so much to give and have so much value and so much
yes,
art to share to not be taken. I just don't feel like let's not have that be taken over by AI. There's plenty of
right.
other niches that can be taken over by AI. I just feel like production and filming and actors they're still a viable product. We don't need to be
Very
replaced by
much.
AI.
I really hope that that's not where things go. But like the strikes last year were for the writers and the
Mhm.
actors and their contracts as pertaining to AI. This year we have all of the crew that
Mhm.
have their contracts up for negotiation, and I'm not entirely sure what parts of that entail, but it'll be interesting later this month when all of that comes out to see what negotiations bring up.
Are less things being are less productions being greenlit? It seems like less is coming out, especially coming out of LA.
That's just it. There has been nothing going on in LA, and like I mean every end of the spectrum, people who are just starting out and working indie all the way up to people who are seasoned in these groups who have been in the union for years and years. We're all saying the same thing, like what's going on? And I'm starting to see a lot more filming taking places in, different locations. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Midwest, which is part of why I've been back in Michigan. There's a lot more going on in Ohio, Michigan, a lot still happening in New York, but like LA is a quiet, like dead zone, and
Mhm.
it kind of has been for the past year, which is really unfortunate. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess to
very
put it in
curious.
perspective for people, in the Midwest or Michigan, imagine what Detroit looks like after the auto industry has been on strike for a year. That's what LA is looking like because
Mhm.
it affects so much, not just your actors, your studio people, people who are directly on set. There's the people who own the prop houses, the people who own the costume shops, the people who do the dry cleaning. There's so many things that were affected. I even was a server at the Cheesecake Factory at the Grove. And when I started there, all everything was still, in operation. All the studios were
Mhm.
up and running. We would have a line out the door at lunchtime. By the time I quit in July of last year, we had no business at lunch because everything was
That's
on
so
strike.
crazy.
So it
That's so
affects
sad.
so much.
Mhm. Well, and the cost of living out there is just and if you don't and especially if you even could have survived the strike,
Yeah.
I don't even understand. So,
And
it's
it's really hard because if you know anything about unions and strikes and things, even if you're not in the union yet, which a lot of us are not there
Mhm.
yet, but we're working on our days. If you're working and making it known that you're working on something like of substance
Mhm.
during the strikes or
Yep.
during the looked down upon times, then it's like good luck to ever really getting status in the union
Mhm.
when you get there.
Mhm. So, what do you hope to continue doing in this industry? Do you hope that you can keep working? Are you gonna try to pivot? What is the goal?
I don't know. I'm at a really interesting place in my life because I kind of don't know if I want to keep doing this. I mean, 10 years in the film industry, I'm like,
Mhm.
am I able to retire yet? um, but I don't know. I kind of can see myself producing more.
Mhm.
And that's more so where I see the future going just because the set hours are long, they're
Ugh.
grueling. I'm tired.
Mhm. They're
And
awful. Yeah.
having been on so many sets, I feel like that's what's really important is having a producer that knows all the different facets and knows how to properly approach a set because you see often a lot of times ill-informed and ill-prepared productions just because
Mhm.
they haven't been there, they haven't seen it all, and I've been
Mhm.
there and I've seen it all.
Mhm. You've also done it all,
Yeah.
honestly. Well, you're amazing. Thank you so much for
I
doing
learned
this
from
with me.
you.
Listen, I tell everybody, if you can survive me, you can survive anything.
And
I'm
I'm
not an
very
easy
happy to have
person to work
survived.
for. Yeah, you were amazing. I mean, not everybody gets it, and you get it, and it's just
I try.
I love that we got to know each other. I love that we stay in
Me
touch,
too.
and I love following your career. And honestly, like, do you want to give out your Instagram, or do you not want people to know what your
Yeah, no, that's
Instagram is?
fine.
You give it out because
Absolutely.
it's not your name. So I know. Where
Well,
did it come from?
okay, because back in the day,
Right,
um, it wasn't like you make a separate page for your business,
right.
like, and at that point I had already started posting just like makeup for fun,
Mhm,
and I got reposted by a makeup company, which is where I got my followers from. So at that
mhm.
point I couldn't do anything about it. I had to
Yeah,
just stay with it, because if
that's
I
what
changed
yeah.
it, then I would,
You
I
can
had to stay
change
with
the
it.
username, FYI, but go ahead, give
But then it
people
was on business cards and stuff
Oh,
already.
I see what you mean. You're
So it
like, "No,
was
I'm
like
not
I
gonna
was
do that."
in and in between, and then I just kind of had to
You're
stay
like,
with it.
"We're just gonna go with it."
But now, if you type in OHJ, it's the first one that pops up
It
on pretty much
absolutely is.
anyone's phone. So just type in OHJ and it'll be the first one.
Yes,
No,
you'll see. Well, go ahead, give the whole thing.
it's O Jamie, and it came originally from my AOL screen name back in the day. Yeah,
I love it.
that's where it came from. We're talking. I made an Instagram account back when it was like iPhones only, but it's OHJAMIIEX.
And you do like, while you're in town, I mean, you're in Detroit right now, so if people wanna hire you for events, for weddings, for productions, like, you're
Yes,
available, which I
I
think is
am.
amazing. The one other thing I wanna talk to you about is, have you ever done TV makeup,
Yes,
like, for a TV show? I
yes.
want people to understand how many layers of foundation is used. I'm gonna talk to Barbara's makeup artist coming up in a couple of days, but because the lights I don't think people understand the lights are so bright that it's layers of makeup. That's why they like
Yes.
a completely different looking person. If you ever met somebody in person, a celebrity, or like you see those pictures of like, oh, celebrity is grocery shopping. Who the hell is this? It's
It's
because the
because,
layers of makeup.
yes, and not only just layers of makeup, but a whole different type. Like there's HD camera ready makeup, which is so thick and so covers everything, but that's what it's supposed to do.
But it does not look good in person. It's like,
Depending.
so, well,
Most, but yeah, you would definitely be surprised to see somebody in person versus somebody
mhm.
on set.
Yeah, it's like, "Wait, what?" Yeah,
And
makeup is
that's
honestly magic. I started to get into makeup when I was watching TikToks and watching drag queens put makeup on,
well,
and I
that's
was
I
like,
worked on
"Oh, like,
Trixie
that's
Motel's
how this works."
show.
Oh my god, how much fun was that?
Trixie Motel show.
Yes.
It was literally the greatest thing I've ever done, because like I didn't do Trixie's makeup, she does her own,
Mhm.
but we shared a trailer. So while I'm glamming her celebrity guest, which that's when I did Lisa, was for her show.
Mhm.
But while I'm glamming the celebrity guest on my side, Trixie's getting ready on her side. It's just like, oh my god, it's
Right.
fascinating.
It's crazy. It is so
I
amazing, and
love
that's when
working
I
with
was
drag
like
queens.
It's literally when I was like, "Wow, if they can put that much effort into it, I should at least be able to put this much more effort into it."
Right.
Like, I
Yes.
have a whole fascination for it and a whole love for it because it takes time. It's
Oh my, it
art,
does.
and contouring is not easy, and you have to understand where the lines are of your face. So, like, that's why what you do, I don't think people understand. You have to really understand the face, and the face is not even on each
Yes.
side. And so and
That's why
sometimes you've got, skin that's
I'm a
tough to work
big
with.
advocate, right. I am a big advocate of going to school in some capacity. There's a lot of people out there who are self-taught, and that's great, but 9 times out of 10, their
Mhm,
makeup looks like a one size fits all.
mhm,
That's not how you do it, especially in like film and TV, because it's not just a red carpet event where you can copy and paste the same look. For
right.
film and TV, it could be somebody's documentary, it could be somebody's, testimony
Mhm.
for something they did.
Yeah,
You never know what you're doing. So you need to know how to work with their face, and it could be any age, it could be any color, it could be anything. And you have to know how to do that, and you don't really learn that when you're just self-taught on your
no, you
face, you
don't.
know.
So if people wanna get a hold of you, Instagram, DM you, or you have a website too, I think, right?
Yes, it is makeupjamie.com.
So if you want to see how amazing her stuff is, honestly, like your self stuff, I don't even understand how you can even do that to yourself. It's amazing. It's so cool.
Have fun.
I know. Well, I was bored. And then 4 hours later, I look amazing.
Pretty much.
It's amazing. It's so awesome.
And then you take it off and then you're just like, wow.
I know. I think that's part of the hard part is taking it off because you're just like, I worked so
absolutely
hard
is.
on this for a picture
like,
and a video.
Exactly, because anybody else, it's like you have tangible, like, oh, I made this bracelet or I painted this picture or remember what my face looked like 10 minutes ago? I did that.
Yep. No one will ever see it again. It's like sand art where like the wind blows it away.
That's such a good way to put it.
I love you so much. You're amazing.
I love you. Thank you for having me.
You're so talented. I know. I love you so much.
I learned from the best.
Oh my God, you're the best. Pause right there. Stay right there. Instagram, thank you. We're going to get off of this. You shouldn't have to do anything.
Nope, it went away.
So stay there, and then we're going to stop